All right, today I'm going to take you through Anatomy of a Skate series. We're going to get into rollerblades, and I'm going to show you what our rental rollerblades are like and some new rollerblades and how to put them together and how they work. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss this episode. Hey, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to this episode. We're continuing this series on Anatomy of a Skate. Today, we're going to do Anatomy of a Rollerblade. We're going to start off with these amazing rentals, and I'm going to show you how to put them together. I'm wearing pink today because it's almost Valentine's Day, and we have our adult Valentine's pink skate coming up, which will be fun. Check our website for that. So we're going to get started here. What does a rollerblade look like? How does it get put together? This is a rental skate of ours. There's lots of different components. It's real similar to the speed skate as far as how the pieces and parts work. So with that, I have a bunch of these parts out here. We have a wheel, we have a couple of straps, and I'm just going to take you through from the straps all the way down to the wheels. So getting started, here is where the straps are, and I'm actually going to fix this buckle. So the straps, they go in this side and they buckle in to the buckles here. Now to get the buckles to work, you open that up and then you press this button and that slides straight out, okay? So I'm gonna quick fix this buckle because the buckles tend to break quite often, so we just replace them. So there's a little rivet behind here. The rivet looks like this, okay? And then there's a screw that goes into that rivet. So I'm gonna take that screw out, just like so. And then I'll take the broken piece off. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this new buckle and I'm going to open it up like so. And I'm going to stick that right on there. And then the screw goes right into there. So I'll do that real quick. Usually it doesn't take me long to replace buckles. Sometimes the screws don't go well and they like spin on the inside, which is kind of a pain. And then you got to take this whole boot part out and put a screwdriver back behind there to hold that rivet. When the screw does go in nice and easy, it makes it way better. Oh, I lost it there. Makes it way better and way easier. I hope this shows up on the camera. So I'm just going to stick that on there. And there you go. So it's that easy to replace the buckle, but that's how the buckles work. They just go in like this. You tighten it down, clamp it down, okay? So I showed you a little bit about the rivet and the screw that hold the buckle on. And I showed you a little bit about the buckle and how the buckle works. This is what the straps look like. The straps go in through here. So if I were to pull that out, this could go through. So sometimes these straps break and replace the straps. The top strap is a little bit different. So the top strap actually has a buckle on the other side that you pull it out like so. And then this whole piece is the strap. And once in a while those break, so we have replacements of those. Now we have those same rivets inside here and same screws. There's just two of them rather than one. So they get held on pretty much the same way. And then you just hold the one side, pull that out, replace this. Also sometimes, not very often, but sometimes these will break and that'll break too. But the way to put that in there once it's all ready to go, is you just slide that in like that, and then you clamp it down. So that's how the buckle systems work on these rollerblades. Now with rollerblades, whether they're the rental skates or regular rollerblades, they all work pretty much the same. And I'll show you a couple of new pair here in a minute. So next we're gonna go on to this little piece here. So this bottom plastic piece and this top plastic piece is held on by that. Sometimes that breaks or that falls out, and that's just a basic system like this. So you have the rivet that goes in behind, then you put this over top like this, put that on top of there like that, and then you got a nice big screw that goes in like this. So you put that in here, with this behind the plastic piece, and it just screws in. If you notice, this has little spikes on there, and those spikes dig into that plastic and keep it from spinning. So that's how you replace that, and that is a super easy Allen tool. You just stick that in there, tighten it, loosen it, whatever you need to do. Now this on regular rollerblades, like a store-bought rollerblade or from our pro shop, typically there's not a hex nut there. Usually this is just flush and it's like a pop rivet. So if something like that breaks, you got to drill that out and then you can replace it with something that is more interchangeable. And that's one of the things that I find on the rollerblades that you buy is not a lot of these pieces are interchangeable like they are on our rentals, which makes it a little more difficult to drill like stuff out to be able to fix it, but you can still fix it. It just takes a little bit more time. Next up is the wheels. Now the wheels and the bearings, they go together the same as a speed skate wheel and a bearing, like I showed you in the last episode. There'll be a link in the description for our last episode, Anatomy of a Speed Skate, so you can see exactly how speed skates work. But the wheels and bearings pretty much operate the same. So you have two bearings, and you put one on either side with, where's my spacer? With a spacer in the middle. So, and they go in real easy. It's just a nylon hub. So you just press that in. Sometimes people use, and then you put the spacer on the inside. Sometimes people use bearing press. I don't ever use a bearing press. Sometimes if it's just too hard to get in, like it's not going in, I'll just stick the wrench in and push it and it goes in. Push it and then it seats in that nylon and then it spins nice and free. So then how does this go into here? It's real similar also to the speed skate, except for it screwing into one side because this is plastic. There's a two-piece axle and it goes like this. So you slide the wheel in, you put the axle through the plastic plate, frame, whatever you want to call it, through the other side, and then it screws in to that side like that. Now, there's also two more little pieces because this is plastic. If this gets caught and starts spinning, that plastic will melt. So on the inside of that is this. Now what this does is it actually goes inside that plastic and creates a barrier for that axle. So if the axle spins at all, it won't melt the plastic. So you got that little rivet right there. So that's basically how it works, just like that. And it's fairly simple and easy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what a regular rollerblade, not one of our rentals, but like one you would buy from our pro shop. So let me go grab it. All right, and I'm back. So I got a couple of different rollerblades here. I'm going to start with this one. So this is your general 4-wheel. Now, just like with the rentals, you have the same type of buckle system, but just the top one. So this one has actual laces and a little Velcro strap that really gets you to tighten it down. And then it's got that same buckle on the top with the same system. All right. Again, it's not replaceable. You have to drill those out if this breaks. So it's a little more difficult, but it can be done. I actually had someone just last night at adult night. They came up and this was broken on their rollerblade and they're like, hey, can you fix it? And I'm like, I can, just not super fast. Like it's going to take a minute because then you have to put this in the drill press and you have to drill through that pop rivet, get all that out of there without damaging the plastic. So you got to be real careful with it, but it can be done. And then you just take the same type of system that the rollerblade one has with these little screws and rivets like this, put one of those in there, and then it will be interchangeable. So it's a little more difficult to change that out if it breaks, but you can do it. But with this also, you have this one here, like with the rental rollerblade, that's interchangeable if it breaks or falls apart. With this one, it's not. You notice it's just kind of a pop rivet. So you can drill that out and replace it with one. If it breaks, it just takes a little bit more time. Now, the best thing about the rollerblades versus like a speed skate is you have a nice soft cushy boot. It gets nice and high on the ankle, gives you lots of support, and then it gives you a decent roll as well. So these wheels and axles, real similar to the rentals. They're set up pretty much the same. It's just a little better quality, which is why they're a little more expensive. But you have an axle that goes through both sides. The axle goes through this way, it screws into this side, you tighten it up, and then it's good to go. The bearings are seated in the same, one bearing on either side, a spacer in the middle. The axle goes through the bearing, through the spacer, and through there. So it's pretty much set up the same as what I just showed you on our rental skate. Now, a question that I get a lot is, well, what's the difference between something like this and something like this? So the difference is this one is going to get you a little better turning radius. You're going to be able to turn a little bit tighter. You're going to be able to move your feet a little bit faster because of the smaller wheels. So you have a little more agility with the smaller wheels and a little bit more quicker speed as far as acceleration. Now, with the big wheels, the benefit of these is they're going to roll better. So you're going to be able to take less steps and go the same amount of distance, so you get better roll. Also with these, this is one of my most popular skates to sell for adults that go skating on the trails. And because the wheel is so big, it goes over the bumps. So if you have a really bumpy trail or sticks or whatever, it'll go over it without you face planting. You know what I mean? It rides a lot smoother on rougher terrain. So it's going to roll faster, especially if you're going in a straight line, and it's going to roll over those bumps a lot smoother. So that's the difference between the small wheels and the big wheels. So with this one, it's got a plastic shell with an insert similar to what the Rollerblade is, but it also has a ratchet strap here. Now this ratchet strap is real similar to that speed skating ratchet strap. So you go like this, that tightens it, you push this down, that pulls it out, and then the top strap here is the same as the rental or the same as this one. But here are two really good options for skating with rollerblades. They're really good, high quality brands. They have fantastic components. It takes a little bit if one of them breaks to be able to fix it, but you can fix it with the right know-how. Now, if you're interested in anything like this, I do have it on my website. Check it out at terryhallproshop.com. It has all of the rollerblades that we sell. We stock a bunch of them in the pro shop. If it's not in stock in your size, we can always order it. It's super easy, but it's really great for that. So now that I've shown you all the different types of rollerblades, shown you how to kind of fix these, I also have a video for our rental skates of what I do in the back room. That video will also be in the description. It was one of my first podcast videos, so I apologize if it's not great as far as how I'm talking. So I just realized my mic went out, so I'm going to end this podcast just with me talking into the phone. If you like this content, click like and subscribe. Check out our website, terryhall.com, all of our private parties, our birthday parties, all of our session information. It's all on that website, terryhall.com. Also, if you're interested in buying a pair of skates, check out terryhallproshop.com. Everything is on there. I have well over 100 items on the website, so check that out. Again, if you like this content, click like and subscribe. I put out a new video every Saturday morning, so check us out on Saturday morning, and we'll catch you next week.